Part two.
Yeah, I forgot there's a time limit on the Not Soon Pro, so it would have been good. But anyways, here we are. How do
Here
you
we
feel
are.
about the first part?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good with me.
Mm, engine seems to be rolling.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, how do you feel about going into a little bit of coaching now?
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I don't really separate whatever it is that I'm doing because I we tune into whatever is there and
Mm,
whatever comes through me, whatever my soul wants to convey to you about that. You can call that coaching. Um, yeah. So we can just continue. We're on
yeah,
this walk. We just continue walking.
cool. Yeah, I noticed there's a. I'm gonna get a little bit more raw here. I noticed there is some fear in me alive about this being recorded, and at the same time, I have this desire to get a little more vulnerable with you here. So
Well, ultimately, you can always choose whether you want to put that. Let's say for this bit, you can choose whether you want to put it online or not. We have this first bit recorded. This, I feel there's nothing too vulnerable, so that I would like to use. For now, I would say if you haven't already, hit the record button, and um, you can always decide afterwards if it's too raw, and then okay, then we'll create a space for you to allow your vulnerability to really arise.
yeah, yeah. What I would like to ask in that case is if you would be the one to press record on your laptop so I can hide myself, because otherwise I'm gonna be too much in my head watching myself and all of that.
Okay, so I press record now. I'm on my
Uh,
phone. Let me see how to
just,
do this.
oh, I'm not sure if you can. Just uh, you can try, and if it doesn't work, I'll do it here.
Um, Mute stop video participants, chat reaction,
No,
share
that's
whiteboards, apps.
I don't think it's gonna work on a phone. Okay.
No, I'd have to look that up sometime. So just hit the record button, brother.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I've already started recording before you started. So before you joined. So
All right,
we're good to go.
we're good to go.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna hide my face though, because I'm just getting too mental otherwise. Yeah.
All
There
right.
we go.
Mm.
Notice I have this like tiny little mask coming on. It really wants to hide what's really going on for me. And I imagine there's just yeah, fear or sadness. It's like real uh energy, emotions. Oh. Yeah, like all of them are here. There's fear of not knowing, there's sadness of where I am, and there's anger of where I am and not am. yet. And
Mm.
yeah, and there's joy of the possibility of being here with you in this space that is uh, so hard for me to be with on my own, so hard to navigate.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are all kinds of clever coaching words that even I could use now to sort of temporarily shift you out of this mindset, which it is, in my observation, a story that is not ultimately true.
Mm,
But in the moment, it's true for you, and it hurts. And I also know that there is a pain underneath that is sort of feeding this story, and that in order for this story to no longer be fed, this pain needs to be addressed at the core.
mm,
Like and of course, this pain, it might be afraid of, uh, who would I be without this? Yeah, so it's usually like, you know, parasitic is a strong word, but you know how parasites operate. Like they don't really want to go. They'll latch
yeah.
on. Um, but it's not always a nice way to put it, because sometimes the pain is not necessarily some pesky parasite,
Yeah.
which it is just a part of us that needs clearly more attention, more love, and more care in order to feel safe enough to transform and transmute.
Mm,
Um, well, I can just speak from experience that I have faced all of those things, and I've spent sometimes nights on end just being in fear. But the ultimate cure is to stay with it and to move through it, to
mm,
acknowledge it, uh, in a very embodied, grounded way. These things cannot always be addressed on the mental level or changed on the mental level. It's a lot deeper, and that's why those breathwork journeys can be transformative, because we're able to access that pain on a deeper level. Um, so ultimately, that is the cure, if you ask me.
yeah, it's interesting. One thing I didn't ask in the interview that I would have liked to ask if there was more time is like, I see you really as a man that is, and it's a very rare thing. I have not met many men like that, that are able to really stand freely in their truth on the earth, on the earth. So, and with that, I mean, it's like, I don't see you as being intermingled with any systems at all. You are a free man standing on your feet in the midst of all the chaos. And you have this aura around you that is just keeping you, it's like you're free. And to be, it's so rare to be standing on earth in your truth. And I'm that's a journey that it's basically almost full incarnation, which is a very rare thing. I mean, Jesus was a full incarnate, right? So um and I notice I'm not there yet. Especially this week and a half here, I've been noticing how my right foot has been very slowly lowering to earth as I heal this ancestral masculine lineages. I've been meeting my grandfather. I've been speaking to him like, hey, we can have joy in this life. And he's just so rigid there, holding it like, no, we have to control this. Old patriarchal system is dying inside of me, and I'm witnessing it. And
Oh,
it's just,
I get goosebumps as you say that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel sadness because
Mm.
it needs so much love. It needs so much love, and it's been holding that on for so long. This not only in me but collectively. It's like fucking time to let it go. We came here for joy. We came here for joy on this planet. Like my soul came here to shine light. I didn't come here to be controlled and to be in all these rigid spheres of masculine structure. This is not how it goes.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's causing what you say, this deeper suffering in me, because I know to some degree who I am, but I'm not able to bring it and express it fully on the earth, and it's this soul torture. And ah, man, so yeah, having talks with my grandfather and sending him all the love that he didn't receive back then. So, and yeah,
Mm.
something's there. And I've been noticing the more I do that, the more, like I said, I've been gathering these parts that were in my, we've been talking about gut healing. You know, my heart has been fragmented and these parts are in my in my gut somewhere, and I've been just recollecting them and feeling through them, and my gut's been like 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 moving through these waves it could not move through at one point, you know. So, and then I noticed, this energy has been downing, like descending on me. The more I can feel through these immense waves of pain. Um, yeah. And I've been yearning so much for this connection of being fully part of nature that you speak about, that feels so increasingly close and just asks me to continuously do the work and show up and feel all there is to feel. And right now I'm exhausted from that. You know, 1 week and a half of just doing that and not seeing any results is like really um like a sad journey in a way. Like, fuck man, how much more? Like, I'm so committed to this, and ooh, and I want this full embodiment. I take a stand for nothing less. Fuck,
Mm.
fuck, fuck not walking my full path here. Fuck that. That's not why I came here for. That's why I dedicate this time here in this hut. It's like all my intention is to fully incarnate. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit of a share of my heart.
Thank you for sharing, brother.
Yeah.
May I sort of add a little bit of
Go for it. Bring whatever you feel.
like a little bit of honey to your to your
Yeah.
to your tea?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I feel your pain, and I feel a lot of it also comes from your desire of, you know, whatever it is that you're explaining that you want to be. But just remember that you now sharing this, that is the path, you know, that is the work. You know, when we sat in Ubud in that circle together and you were fully there and contributing to that, that is the path. When you're in the school, you know, connecting with everyone. It's in those moments, it doesn't get any more full than that. Um, you know, and obviously you will improve over time and you will become more grounded or whatever it is that you're desiring, but not to get caught up in this futuristic idea of salvation at some point in the future, right? You know, can we find some level of acceptance and even joy in this moment? You know, can we become comfortable with the uncomfortable? And like the way I hear you talking, you've been there for a week and a half pounding away without success. Well, I mean, I don't know. Is that really true? Or are you moving through things? Are there moments there where you can sort of enjoy your surroundings? I mean, you're only in one of the most beautiful places in the world, you know, under this, you know, blazing sacred waterfall. Now, are there moments in your day where you can just go, "Oh," you know, it's actually pretty all right. This is just a question, you know,
Yeah.
not to fall into the trap of sort of non-acceptance of where you are right now. You know, like a person going on holiday, they don't go on holiday only for that sweet moment of returning home, you know, which is a nice moment, but are we here to enjoy the holiday as well? And are we here to enjoy that journey? It's
Yeah,
more of a
that's
question to you.
no, thank you. It opens a conversation that I've been looking for a good moment to open with you, but just in general with somebody in my life. That is, how do I, and that's, yeah, that's bringing, I'm a very feminine man. Like, I feel, yeah, you're inviting me to a different strain of feminine, like even like a but anyway, I'm very feminine in the way I tune to energy and surrender as well. But I'm with this, how do I structure my day as an adult man while being in this, you know, I wake up, I have my 3 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours, you know, meditation, breathwork, all of that. And then it's like I gathered some clues, I've got some clarity about what's going on and what needs to happen. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm not financially responsible right now in my life. So something is lacking, something I need to build in that is not really working. Um, yeah. And so I had this idea fantasy that if I were to just surrender, Mother Earth will take care of me also financially. And it's been true to a degree. Like I have nothing really lacking right now, but on a like monthly basis, I just see my bank account going backwards. So something, my mind has then the story that something is not working. That's how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. It's just an observation and a inquiry I'm also on right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's only one truth, right? Which is alignment, which is out of the head into the heart, into the sweet zone of flow, which is there we get the inspiration and the wisdom to act and to do things. So this idea of surrender is not for me that we're just sort of basking in rivers all day and squirrels will come out of the trees to hand feed us grapes. And this is how Mother Nature takes care of us. Um, in alignment, really tough moments can come about where we are wholeheartedly sacrificing our own comfort for the community, where we're
Can we
actually getting to work.
can we pause here because pause here and zoom out or zoom in because there is a juicy bit here that I've been really wanting to get closer to, which is this: how do we
Yeah.
go from surrender to action and surrendered action? Like where exactly is that you jump on that wave to surf? Like uh,
Well,
when
there are
quickly?
moments,
Because
there are moments in my life where I just cannot sit still. I'm just sort of engulfed with creativity and inspiration. And I jump on my bike and I race into the kitchen and I get to work. And I don't stop until the creation is done. And I finish exhausted. I drop on the floor. I got nothing left to give. Was that work? Was that effort? No. Was there a certain amount of action? And absolutely, people are wondering where to get that energy from because this has to be done. I can't not do this. I'm birthing something. And to do that, especially now, to do that with other people who feel the same and to dance with other creators, that adds a whole new layer of sweetness on top of it. But it's effortless nonetheless.
mm,
Does it take courage? Yes.
yeah,
And to come back to the money thing, there's been very clear moments in my life where I had to trust so fully in the process because on the physical level I had nothing and there were people demanding money from me that I didn't have and I just had to move. I had to move through these layers of fear of I don't know where they came from until my entire body was shaking where I just had to choose that doing this mission is more important than even my money concerns. It was
mm,
like everything had to be about the mission. And it was somehow that I was able to move through these fears that I landed on the other side and then money could come in. So even you experiencing money fears is a blessing because it's inviting you to not find the sense of safety in the monetary system, which is entirely man-made,
mm,
but to just welcome it like, of course, it's a tool that we need in this moment, at least that we can use to create good things. But there's a very fine line about welcoming it and using it, working with it, and relying on it for a sense of safety that can only be offered by something other, than man-made structures. There's something bigger that we can only find true, lasting safety in, which is our innate connection to the soul, through our own inner divinity. And it's just a deep knowing that in this game, we're always going to be the observer and the awareness, and we're always going to be okay in just sort of, enjoying the experience, which is infinite. Um,
mm,
so yeah, there's definitely a challenge in order to be this boundless creator, fierce and fearless. We have to face the conditions attachments to the systems that are destined to crumble anyway, or transform in ways that will limit our freedom to a greater extent, which is not going to serve our creativity. And I believe that God, as it expresses itself through the natural world, wants us to be those courageous, fearless creators and expressors of divinity amidst the chaos. That's the joke. That's the true warrior. And in that we can find the stillness, in the storm.
I had some questions prepared about creation and creatorship, and it seems it's coming naturally here. Um, like it's when I hear you speak, it's a dance between the masculine and the feminine. It's a dance between receiving an inspiration and then bringing it out into the world and carving it out and whatever. And yeah, that helps. Um, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I think what I'm sort of invited into right now is the step that you talked to me about that you had to take at one point, which is finding more balance in the elements of the heal or in one's life in regards to the healing journey and the productive or living the life. And so I'm with this mindset right now, like I need to heal these things because then I will be there, and when I feel this father wound, then um or this grandfather thing, and it seems to be true to a degree because the more I can feel that and share that, you felt this energy, right? So that is something that wants to come through to me also for the
Yeah,
collective. I'm sure if I share this on Facebook, it will resonate with a lot of people, and so it's but at the same time, something of that is too out of balance. It's not really working, but it also really serves. So I'm just in this confused mess about that, man, and maybe I should just let it be like that. I don't fucking know, you know?
you beautiful confused pile of mess that's serving the world. Aren't you amazing in that? Yes, you're a beautiful pile of mess right now.
Yeah.
Aren't we all? Of course. I
Mm,
think that's it. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's that's the irony. Like just the very fact that we decided to jump on this thing and you hit the record button and you may end up sharing this on social media. It may serve some people. I don't know about you, but we can find joy in that now.
mm,
That's like a beautiful creation actually that we're doing together right now
yeah.
in the only moment that's real.
Mm,
So maybe it's through that we can find acceptance for the messiness and the stickiness of the process and even find beauty in it.
mm,
I shared that with you before. Like I don't look personally. I don't look at you like wanting you to be any different. It's like I find beauty in how you are.
mm,
You know.
yeah.
So perhaps there's a little medicine for yourself right there to find perhaps some level of, if possible, some level of acceptance for
Yeah.
your very process, like right now, and to find the beauty in that.
Totally, yeah.
Um, and not to be not be careful. And I have this tendency not to be perfectionist, become
Mm,
quite militant with myself and others around me. It
mm,
has to be perfect. But what actually if it's all okay right now?
mm. You know, yeah, and speaking about creation, there was a point where you were, let's say, faced with this limitlessness, boundlessness, and um, in your journey. And, becoming an adult man, we all have to make this choice of painfully sort of cookie cutting ourselves, saying, okay, I know I'm infinite, but I'm gonna be this. This is like the Pinocchio process, right? To becoming an actual adult, a real man in the real world. And I wonder if you could share a little bit um, how that went for you. I mean, you shared about this journey, you're walking there, Compostela. There's some things happened, but I seem to be missing some details of how did you actually got from A to Z there? Like, how did you make that decision? Okay, I'm going to be the chef of whatever, or how did that come to be where you found yourself in somewhat of a box that you perhaps consciously decided on to be from that moment?
Mm.
'Cause I know for myself that deciding to be boxless isn't really working either. We need to have a sort of an avatar to operate in the world with, even though we know we are limitless. So,
Yeah, I feel you. I think I feel more like sharing that that rebel used to be more pronounced in myself. Like my whole life looking back, I despised anything that was overly structured, um, always pushed against authority. And I think there was a really deep soul reason for that. Um, but I also started to learn along the way that structure can be the canvas. It can be the very ground for our creativity. And I had to learn the hard way also that my rebelliousness continuously put others around me at risk.
mm,
Um, and so through a lot of hardship and having to face the consequences of how my rebelliousness was affecting others, from the way I refused to write down recipes, the kitchen team was lost when on my days that I decided to stay in the flow and not come to the kitchen, and then having guests complain about the food to, you know, uh, my 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 in those times, it's different now because I'm in a committed relationship. I'm engaged with a woman, but there were times where it was only about free love. And how dare anyone question it? And how dare anyone think that there's anything wrong with my expressions of love that were so boundless? But it was breaking hearts and making people uncomfortable around me. But I was really driven by this otherworldly idea of, yeah, we are infinite and boundless and free. And so yes, I had to ground myself and structure myself um, in this reality. And then still every now and then I feel a little bit confined by it all. But I find such great beauty and satisfaction in seeing these structures serve my creativity and also the well-being of those that are in my community that I care for or that I love to see shine. I get great satisfaction out of that. But I think you got to be careful not to sort of push away that rebel, but to really integrate him. And, maybe it is part of our inner child and to parent them so they can truly come into acceptance of the need for structure in this world. Uh, you know, or or decide to go live on your own in the jungle somewhere. That's okay too. See, I made a clear decision for myself that I'm not a monk. I'm more a family man. So I don't live like a monk, so to speak.
mm,
Um, that's also another decision that I had to make for myself. Or at least that's a decision, I guess, that was already made on the soul level, but I had to sort of drop into this experience to come to terms that I wanted to be around people, and we've been through this, that my nervous system had to become more robust. I had to become more accepting of the messiness of the world around me, not trying to control it constantly, but to sort of allow it to transmute through me and to find my place in it all. So yeah, it's not a straight answer like this is how you do it, but it's more been my experience, and I would encourage everyone to explore that. And because yeah, the rebelliousness only goes so far, and I think that's why so many intentional communities fail in the long run because they are lacking the true structure and the true shadow work where as a collective people have to face their rebelliousness and their boundlessness and how it might not always be serving the future generations in the long run.
mm,
So yeah, but I have a lot of understanding for it because like that patriarchal model you refer to has caused so much pain. There are so many remnants of that we are very wary. We're very wary of leaders as well. I notice it for myself because I'm often put in leadership positions. I get a lot of pushback, a lot of distrust, which is only fair. Because ultimately we all have to find it all inside of ourselves. But there are certain people still that have to stand up and create structures, and I'm one of them. But those structures should never overshadow people, their soul journey or their creativity. They should, again, they should allow it. They should support it. That's why we have a rule in our restaurant as well. Like if you show up here in one morning and you don't want to be here, you have to go home, because energetically, I personally, I wouldn't want to work with that contraction, but on a deeper level, it's our responsibility to help you move on to a better job. I always tell this stuff, I'll help you find a better job if this is no longer your best place to be. And that's really important, because the only thing I want to serve in this world is the soul journey of myself and others. So even being part of a structure, a business, even there, we can no longer suppress people just so we can milk the cow. Even there, we can trust that everyone within the structure can find their soul journey, because many of them on the soul level will want to do this job for a while because it's actually serving them. So you can trust that and allow the heart to lead the way and allow the structure to support that. Like the waitress in the restaurant, there might be a certain procedure, you know, when a guest complain about food, give them a little chocolate. That's a nice procedure to have, but it doesn't always work. When a guest complain about food, the staff member needs to come in their heart and listen and attune and use their own intelligence to decide in the moment what's the best to do, right? And so, but we end up working with robots otherwise. And that's why I don't like going to supermarkets. I like going to fresh produce markets, because the people are emotionally invested in what they're doing. And it's like, it doesn't matter how beautiful the supermarket or the restaurant or the place that I'm going is, if the staff doesn't really want to be there, or they haven't really had the opportunity to align themselves with the place that they're in, what is left of that experience? Is that the true experience we're longing for is a feeling of family, feeling of truly being welcome in a place, right? So I believe this level of heart-centeredness and dedication to our soul path can be applied everywhere. And then the rebelliousness in that's probably alive in most humans today, it can soften and it can give structure another chance, because it's safe now. Because ultimately I am free, and ultimately I am boundless, and I chose to come here for this experience of limitation, just to know what it's like. Like, it's so sweet to have those tight shoes all day, and at the end of the day to take them off and go, oh, my feet are free. They were free all along, but I wanted to wear these shoes because they look pretty good.
Okay, so we have 6 minutes and a half left here on this second part.
Nice structure. I like it. Let's stick with that. 6 minutes and we finish this. Good.
Yeah, right.
See, a little structure. Nice. Yeah.
I just want to check in here if there's something that's still burning in me to ask, or if you feel like anything wants to be really said. What helped you the most on incarnating so fully on Earth? Like we talked about plant medicine, about feeling deep grief. Like what are some things that really that I could try that I perhaps haven't tried yet, or some what hmm.
No, I would say the only thing that helps is to dedicate myself. And again, this might lead your mind to go again into comparison, but the only thing that helps me is to truly do what I came here to do. And the incarnation process is happening gradually for me as well. There are moments still where I feel unsafe and ungrounded, but I feel this is the path to say, well, I'm here. I may as well be here fully, and I'm not only willing to die for it. That's easy. I've done that in many lifetimes. I'm willing to live for this. I'm actually willing to do my best to stay alive for this, and to not just sort of risk everything, in this sort of rebellious, heroic warrior faction, rah, to roar against the system, but to just sort of like intelligently merge with the system in a sense, and to be in this world, and then to just quietly share my gifts and trying to find as much joy as I can in it. And that's what helps me the most. And to take time to see the beauty in others, just to slow down and not, it's a practice, but just to sit down and just to observe, look at them all, like look at them all just doing their thing. Isn't it beautiful? There's that song by Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. We were karaokeing that the other day. Sort of that energy, trying to consciously bring that in every now and then, to go see the perfection in the imperfection,
Mhm.
see the beauty in the brutality of death and endings. Ah, and to accept the weather. Yeah, whether it's cloudy or sunny or rainy or we go through a big storm, it's the weather, and you'll come out on the other side eventually. Mm,
As you say that, there's a nice breeze coming into my heated body
mm.
onto me. Yeah, great. Mm.
That's the Earth Mother is reminding you, like, I love you, I'm here with you,
Mm.
my son here. Just relax. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for refusing to be ignorant. Thank you for your commitment to finding the truth. Thank you for trying, and it's enough.
Mm.
Mm, mm,
Right. So I think we can consider that ending of part two. Thank you,
mm.
brother, for being here with
Thank
me
you,
in this
brother.
raw space, fruitful sharing.
Thank you. Go and